All right, we are live. It is 8 o'clock on this Friday evening. Thank you for clicking over and checking out this video. I did one of these this morning from home, and it looks like we got some decent engagement on that. And hopefully we'll have a few more viewers this evening as we get started this evening. I want to welcome everyone to our YouTube broadcast. And as we go into the winter, if we get more, kind of medium or big snow events, we'll try to do more of these because it's kind of a cool feature that you can do now on YouTube. You can basically broadcast as if you're on TV. It's completely live, and we have unlimited amounts of time, and we can just kind of go to town here. So I turn down my volume so I don't hear myself. All right, it is 8 o'clock. We're still several hours away from the snow getting underway across eastern Ohio and western Pennsylvania. But things are still pretty much on track from a forecasting standpoint. We haven't seen too many surprises in the afternoon computer models. The latest information suggests that things are fairly on track as far as our forecast goes. I'm going to show you some computer models. I'm going to show you what's going on right now. We're going to talk a little bit about Christmas week as well. We, of course, are going to hit hard on tomorrow's storm, but we've got Christmas coming up in a week and a half, and we're starting to get a lot of questions, of course. Hey, is it going to be a white Christmas? What's it look like? And even though Christmas is still 12 days away, we can pick out some weather trends for Christmas week. While getting real specific is pretty tough this far out. All right, let's see if I can do this right. I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to show you what's going on right now across the country. So we have our snow. It is starting to push through the state of Indiana. Let me pause the animation here. The leading edge of our snow is now through Indianapolis, and it's going to get into Dayton and Cincinnati over the next hour or two. Down towards Cincinnati, it's actually above freezing, 36 degrees there, so they're probably going to see kind of a mixed bag right down there along the Ohio River for a time this evening. But it is much too cold for any sort of mixed precipitation here. Check out these 8 o'clock temperatures. These are hot off the presses over the last couple of minutes. It's 20 degrees in Youngstown. It's 24 over in Newcastle, 26 Akron, Canton, and so the air here is definitely cold enough to support all snow. We are not too worried about mixed precipitation here, although if you saw my forecast on the news this evening at 6, I did mention that southern Columbiana County could be in for a little bit of sleet trying to mix in at some point during Saturday. All right, so that's current radar. Let me put up the pressure analysis here. The actual center of the storm is way out here, kind of detached from the actual precipitation. The center of the low pressure system is out here in northeastern Texas. All of the precipitation is streaming out well ahead of it. We've got an Arctic cold front up across the northeast. Check out the temperatures north of that front up in Quebec. It's minus 20 in a lot of places right now. And this fresh Arctic air is spilling down into the northeast, providing real fresh, refrigerated air for this moisture to run into, and that's why this is going to be a pretty significant snowstorm for parts of the northeastern U.S. So that's what's going on right now. Let me take off the current information. We're going to bring up a computer model here that's going to show us, generally speaking, what the radar should look like as we go through time. And I'm going to start this with the middle of the night tonight at about 5 o'clock in the morning. Most of us are in bed. I'm actually going to be back in here tomorrow morning doing WFMJ Weekend Today. We're going to be talking weather all morning long tomorrow, but here we are at 5. And the radar returns expected at that point are going to be pretty light. So if you're a real early riser, if you're going to be heading out first thing tomorrow morning, even before sunrise, the snow's going to be light. And then as we go towards 6 o'clock right here, notice not much has really changed. It's going to be real light across northeast Ohio and into western Pennsylvania as well. So we are expecting maybe an inch on the ground by daybreak tomorrow, and daybreak this time of the year, of course, is getting up to about 7:30. But this is the way the radar should look as we head towards sunrise. Here we go then towards 9 in the morning. And this is when most people are getting up and starting their day on a weekend, and maybe you're heading to a mall on Saturday. They're going to be packed, and you're going to want to allow for extra travel time for sure. Some of the heavier snow is starting to push into Lima, Findlay, Marion, Mansfield by mid-morning, indicated by some of the darker greens out here. And then I'll roll forward on this animation towards midday. Here's noon on Saturday. Some of the darker greens pushing through northwest Ohio, starting to get into parts of eastern Ohio as well. So I think conditions on the roads are going to start to deteriorate at a pretty decent clip midday into the afternoon on Saturday. Here's at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, some of these brighter yellows you see showing up down here towards Wheeling, this is actually going to be some mixed precipitation down this far to the south. So once you're south of Route 30 and especially down towards Interstate 70 from Cambridge over to Wheeling, you're going to see some sleet. You're going to see maybe even some rain trying to mix in for a time south of Pittsburgh. That's going to really cut down on snowfall amounts down there. Let's go forward to tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock, and this is when we're going to start to get into the wind-down phase. Tomorrow evening at about 7, 8. Notice our dry slot trying to work through eastern Ohio at this point, and snow will start to let up in intensity around the Mahoning and Shenango Valley tomorrow evening after about 7 o'clock. So most of our accumulating snow tomorrow is going to occur during the daylight hours. There could be an inch on the ground by daybreak, by about 7 a.m., but after 7 a.m. and up through the midday of the afternoon, that's when we're kind of in the meat of this storm with tough road conditions and tough travel, and you're definitely going to need some patience if you're hitting the road tomorrow and heading off to do a little holiday shopping. So that's kind of a look at, kind of hour by hour how things are going to progress tomorrow. I'll now show you a couple of other things. We're going to switch over to Google Earth, and this is a National Weather Service product they put out. They put odds on, what your odds are of seeing a certain amount of snow, and this is valid from this evening through tomorrow evening at 7. So basically, the heart of the storm. And the red zone here means you have at least a 70% chance of seeing at least 4 inches worth of snow, and you can see that all of northeast Ohio, western Pennsylvania, is in that zone. You got a 70% or higher chance of seeing at least 4 inches worth of snow. So, the chances of getting 4 inches really high. I think 4 inches is pretty much in the bag everywhere in the WFMJ viewing area except for southern Columbiana County, where there may be some sleet trying to mix in, and temperatures will be a little warmer, might even get up to 33, 34 down towards East Liverpool tomorrow afternoon, and that's going to make the snow wetter. It's going to be more compact, and the accumulations may not be as high down there. Here's the probability of seeing at least 8 inches worth of snow. The pale blues mean a 10% probability or a little higher. So at least a 10% probability of seeing more than 8 inches, and that includes a lot of the viewing area. But again, it's only between 10 and 40%. I would put it closer to the 10% chance that we actually see more than 8 inches worth of snow. So I don't think the chances of that are real high. So that's some good news if you're not a snow lover. You don't want to see more than 8 inches worth of snow. I think we're going to fall somewhere firmly in that kind of 5 to 7 range in most of Mahoning County, Trumbull County, Mercer County, Lawrence County, northern Columbiana County as well. But once you're south of Route 30, I am a little more concerned that some mixing, some wetter snow, slightly warmer temperatures mean that we may not see quite as hefty of an accumulation. All right, let's talk about a few more things here. Here's a look at the current watches and warnings. This is a big storm. It's going to encompass a lot of the Midwest and heading into the Northeast. So millions of people will be impacted by this. There's a cool visualization showing the wind across the entire world, really. You can look at the whole world on this, but you can see where our storm is with this kind of counterclockwise circulation down in the southern plains. That's the center of our emerging low pressure system, but what a cool animation this is. I'll post a link to this on social media this evening, because that is really cool stuff. All right, let's talk about accumulations. I'll show you a couple of models here. Here's the NAM model showing generally 3 to 5 to 6 inches everywhere across the viewing area. Once you see purple colors, that means 6 inches or higher. There's not a lot of that, but a few spots I think are going to end up with 6.5 or so out of this. That's the NAM model. Here's the European model. Gives us a solid 5, 5.5, 6 just about everywhere. So that kind of jives with our forecast. And here's our official WFMJ forecast that I put on the air this evening at 6 o'clock. And this does show in the white area 5 to 6 inches worth of snow. Mahoning County, here's Youngstown right here, of course. Here's 224. Here's Trumbull County, And then over towards Mercer County, here's Interstate 79. Everyone's in that 5 to 6 zone. And then once you're down towards Route 30 and into southern Columbiana County, I think more backyards are going to be close to 3 or 4 inches than they will be 5 or 6. But it's enough to break out the shovels and the plows, no matter where you are tomorrow. All right, so that's kind of the bottom line as far as our storm goes. I'll focus a little bit on longer range temperature trends now because, of course, we got Christmas coming up and a lot of people are asking about this. If you're a regular viewer of my daily online video weather for Weather Geeks, I show this kind of a chart occasionally. This is a long range temperature forecast taking us out through the 28th, so a few days past Christmas. The black line in the middle, that's where the temperature should be in mid to late December. The line that moves around, that's the actual forecast on this model. Well, here's our cold snap right here for after the snowstorm. That's going to warm up a little bit, then it's going to turn cooler again, and then about a week from right now, around the 20th, 21st, we may actually get into the 40s for a couple of days. It's going to warm up and rain, it looks like. So that's the 20th and 21st. Next Friday, next Saturday. After that, looks colder as we head towards Christmas. Christmas Day is right here, and we could be 5 to as much as 10 below average that day if this model has a clue as to what it's talking about. And 5 to 10 below average on Christmas Day means highs in the 20s. So the trend there is definitely for colder weather as we head towards Christmas. Here's a temperature anomaly map for the week of the 20th through the 27th. And where you see the greens and the blues and the purples, that's below average. So that week encompassing the 20th through the 27th, expected to be below average from Ohio on north and west. So, all right, what can we say with a fair amount of confidence? It is going to be a colder than average week, Christmas week. That's what we can say with a decent amount of confidence right now, that Christmas week is not likely to be a mild Christmas. We're not likely to see 50. We're not likely to see rain during Christmas week. That's what we're confident of. What we're not confident of and never will be, at least here in 2013, 13 days out, 12 days out, is the details of precipitation. When's it going to snow? Is it going to snow much? That's the sort of thing we don't have a lot of confidence in. But we can speculate a little and have a little fun with it and to show you what the current models do have for around Christmas. Here's the long-range GFS computer model. And I'm a little worried about our chances for a white Christmas for this reason. Here's the model next Saturday, so 8 days from now. This looks like rain, and perhaps even heavy rain for a time in about a week or 8 days. And that is going to wash away a lot of the snow that accumulates here during the next couple of days. Beyond that, I don't see a lot of snow coming. This system is going to pull away. It's going to turn colder. Here's next Monday, the 23rd, 2 days before Christmas. There's not a lot of storminess on this weather map. Some light snow out here in the Rockies, the Plains, a little bit of a light snow event or maybe around the Great Lakes. And then as we head towards Christmas Eve, here's Christmas Eve day, a little light snow trying to push through the Midwest. And then here's Christmas Day itself. And this indicates maybe some light snow around, real light, but does it give us enough to technically have a white Christmas? Will we have an inch of snow on the ground? Not super confident in that right now. There's a lot of time between now and then to work out the details. But my concern is that the rain that we have in 7 or 8 days washes away a lot of the snow cover, and we might not get it back in time for Christmas. So that's something to kind of keep in mind as we head towards Christmas week, that rain might be our enemy if you're really wishing for a white Christmas. So that's a little bit of a sneak peek at the week of Christmas. Take every forecast that goes out that far with a big grain of salt. 12, 13 days in advance. The science of weather forecasting is not far enough along just yet to make a real high confidence forecast almost 2 weeks out. But we can look at the trends. Pretty confident in the trend in Christmas week is going to be pretty cold. All right, it's coming up on 8:15. We might have had some people that joined in late. Let me check in real quick on my comment section on YouTube and see if anybody's chimed in with any questions just yet. And it does not look like we have any comments or questions just yet. Feel free to leave a comment, a question on the YouTube channel here if you do have any specific questions about our coming storm, about next week, about Christmas week. But in the meantime, for those who are late to the party here and didn't see the first 5 minutes, let me recap where we are and what we talked about. Show you the current radar here along with the current temperatures. As of about 8:15, leading edge of the snow pushing through Indianapolis, approaching Dayton. This is what the radar looks like back towards the Midwest, kind of a mixed bag, St. Louis, down towards the Ohio River as well. And this is all coming east, and this is what the radar will look like tomorrow morning, as you might be, kind of getting up and starting your day. It's about, say, 8, 9 o'clock. So what the radar should look like. Light snow, moderate snow, Ohio, western Pennsylvania. It's going to stick. It'll have no trouble sticking, and it's going to add up throughout the day. The afternoon is when we may see the heaviest snow across the region. That's when snowfall rates may be at their highest. And then things are going to wind down from west to east as we get into the evening. Here we are at 7 o'clock Saturday evening, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. The snow is definitely letting up at that point. Now, Sunday we could see some additional small accumulations with a little lake effect, but we're not looking for much during the course of Sunday. And I'll show you what we've got going on as far as our computer models are concerned, because they jive pretty well with our current forecast. Here's a look at the NAM model. Lots of blues on here, means anywhere from 2 to 6 inches. Purples mean more than 6. The European model has a similar idea. Not a lot of 6-inch amounts advertised here on the European model, but a lot of 5-inch amounts. And, I think the bottom line is that when we add this up tomorrow evening, most of the WFMJ viewing area will have roughly 5 or so inches in their backyards. Some places are going to get 6, 6 1/4, 6 1/2. Some places, especially south of Route 30, may end up closer to 3 or 4, but a good average is going to be about 5, 5 1/2. We do have the white line drawn down to about Route 30 in Columbiana County. South of there, could be some sleet mixed in. We could have some kind of more wet snow down there with temperatures maybe real borderline up around 33, 34. And that's going to make the snow a little more compact, and therefore the accumulations won't be quite as hefty, I think, down there. So East Liverpool, down close to the river, 3, 4 inches, I think, is a pretty good bet there. Whereas you're up towards Boardman, Canfield, Poland, downtown Youngstown, Niles, Warren, 5, 5 1/2, even 6. Real likely. I think 4 is pretty much in the bag up here. It's pretty much almost a guarantee at this point. And most of us are going to be pretty close to 5, 5 1/2, 6. And then you head over towards Sharon and Mercer. Same story over there. 5, 6 inches, a real good bet. Wouldn't be surprised if a few spots over in eastern Mercer County got a little more than 6 with this particular storm. All right, so that's just kind of how things are looking at this hour. This has been one of the more high confidence forecasts we've had, because not too many places are going to get mixed precipitation. This storm has been well advertised several days now. We haven't really changed our forecast in the few days we've been talking about this. So that's the way things are looking on this Friday evening. I'll be on 21 News tonight at 11 with more updates. And WFMJ Weekend today, tomorrow morning. I'm going to be right back here, 6 in the morning, talking about the snow. It's going to be sticking by then, and I'll have live reports throughout the course of the morning. Thanks for tuning in this evening. Really appreciate you watching, and I will see you tonight on the news.